There are so many ways that people describe what it means to them to be in a relationship with God. Being a Christian, giving my life to Jesus. I'm saved. I'm born again. I'm religious. I'm Lutheran or Anglican or Church of England or Pentecostal or Baptist or whatever flavor you happen to be. There's countless more, but whatever we call it, it boils down to this. We can make it all about our relationship with Him, or we can make it all about our relationship with a group or a church. We can take it seriously and grab our relationship with Him with both hands, or we can tag along and lurk in the background. That's what I'm talking about today. So when I was in high school, I became a Christian in the early days of high school, and for many reasons I never really went to church or had anyone to help me grow as a Christian. I had a few Christian friends, but besides sitting together at lunchtime, that was about it. When I went to university, I thought I was going to the place that I wanted to go, but really it was God who put me there. He put me in the right place at the right time. It's very good like that. Before very long, I had a group of friends, an amazing group of friends. Most of them were Christians, and I joined InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, which was in English terms, the CU. It was there in InterVarsity Christian Fellowship that I really started to be challenged in what I believed and started to grow into a deeper place in my relationship with God. I'm so grateful for those 4 years and the dear friends who helped me to deepen my faith during that time. Because it was here that I transitioned from becoming a follower of Jesus to a disciple of Jesus. You see, because when I was following Jesus, it was all about what God could do for me. And that was an okay place to be in to start with, for a while, because I was actually very messed up, quite broken really inside. And God was big enough and loving enough and strong enough to care for me, to look after me, to bring some healing into my life and to work with me. He was my closest friend. I learned to share everything with him. But I realized before too long that other people around me were going deeper with God and were doing more for God than I ever had. They had moved on from being followers to disciples. Now, in the Bible, Jesus had loads of followers. Who do you think those 5,000 people on the hillside were that he fed with the loaves and fishes that day? They were following him, hearing what he had to say, and watching for all the exciting bits. Oh, look, he did a miracle there. Oh, look, where did all that food come from? And that kind of thing. How many followers do you have on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever your favorite social media is? How many people do you follow? What difference does it make to your life that you follow those people? Because, you see, followers listen to and follow and pay attention to when they want to. But the word disciple means to be a learner. Your life changes because of what you're learning. It's not just head knowledge. Something happens inside. Are you willing to not just read the Bible and memorize a few verses, but to actually apply those verses to your life? Are you willing for those passages to challenge your thoughts and your feelings, your attitudes, your values? Ouch. You see, because disciples know where Jesus is and keep up with him, and they fight to be near enough to hear what he has to say. Followers follow the crowd, really, and they figure the crowd must know what he's saying and where he's going, so they'll follow along. Disciples hear God speaking to them, and they recognize his voice. Followers ask others, what's he saying?
because they can't quite distinguish his voice from amongst the crowd and other people. What's he saying? Can you see what's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Disciples allow the scriptures to challenge their thoughts, their feelings, their attitudes, realizing that they might have a few things wrong that need sorting out. Where a follower will reinterpret the scriptures to fit the way they want to see the world. You know, you can prove anything you want to from the Bible if you want to, if you just pull out the right verses here and there. But taking into context, disciples compare themselves with Jesus, and they see where their own character falls short. Where the crowd, well, the followers compare themselves to the crowd. And they figure they're probably all right. I'm better than he is, so I must be okay. I'm all right then. The disciple trusts what God says and obeys what he tells him, even if it doesn't feel good. Where a follower might find it harder to trust God, especially if he asks something hard. He'll weigh up the challenge and say, what's in it for me? A disciple doesn't try to impress God by doing good works. Because we know that there's no amount of good works that I can do to impress God. There's nothing I can do to make him like me more. But I want to do good things for him because I love him. And because I know he loves me. And I belong to him. And that makes me want to bless him and to make him happy. Followers push themselves to be noticed. Noticed by God, noticed by other people. They like the applause. They like all that. See, they do things in order to find approval. And they do things in order to find belonging. Disciples, when Jesus says, follow me, answer with yes. Not out of excitement from the moment, not, ooh, this sounds great, but out of a solid commitment of heart. I've made my decision. I'm going to follow Jesus. I'm going to do what he says, no matter what it costs. A follower will sometimes get excited about Jesus and then other times kind of forget about him, get distracted. Life happens, things go on. And, you know, do you know that the opposite of love isn't hate, but indifference? And if it doesn't really matter to you about what your time with God is like or what he says or, oh, this bit I don't like, I'm just going to ignore that bit, then maybe you're a follower rather than a disciple. But if you want your life to be changed, you want to become more like him, not just know things about him, but to know him. And then the things you know in your relationship with him make a difference in your heart, in your attitudes, in your feelings, in your emotions, in your mindset, in your worldview, your view of what's right and wrong. Then you are a disciple. Do you want to live your life as a disciple or a follower? The choice is yours.